May 12th, 2026. Let's get into it. Quick shout out to today's sponsor, Grid Term Multiple Terminal Session Side by Side. Perfect for Claude Code or Codex power users. Gridterm.com, link in the description. Google just turned your Android phone into a full AI agent and gave everyone the power to vibe code their own widgets. At today's Android show, the company rolled out something called Gemini Intelligence. Yes, that's the actual name, which lets Gemini browse the web for you, fill out forms, and run multi-step tasks across your apps. Hit the power button, describe what you want, done. The wildest part is create my widget. You literally describe what you want in plain English, like give me 3 high-protein meal prep recipes a week, and Android builds the widget. No code, no app, just vibes. And of course, it's locked to the Galaxy S26 in the new Pixels because Google can't help itself. Speaking of Android, a leaker dropped a 16-minute hands-on video of Google's secret laptop OS just hours before Google was supposed to announce it. The Telegram channel Mystic Leaks essentially spoiled the entire keynote. Google had to walk on stage knowing everyone had already seen the laptop running Android 17. Then Google made it official. Chromebooks are getting replaced by something called Google Books. Yeah, that's the name. It's a fusion of Android and Chrome OS shipping this fall, and the OS isn't actually called Aluminium. That's just the code name. They're saving the real name for later. Google really said, quote, "we'll workshop it." And while Google's at it, they just dropped an AI-powered dictation feature into Gboard, and an entire category of startups is sweating. It's called Rambler. It strips out filler words, handles mid-sentence corrections, and can switch languages mid-sentence. You can start in English, flip to Hindi, and it follows along. This is brutal news for Whisperflow, Willow, Super Whisper, Typeless, and basically every dictation startup that built a business on Android being underserved. Google just made it a free default keyboard feature. That moat just evaporated. But the juiciest story of the day didn't come from Google. Sam Altman took the stand today and testified that Elon Musk literally suggested handing OpenAI down to his children like a family business. This came out during Musk's lawsuit challenging OpenAI's corporate structure. Altman said back in 2017, when the founders asked Musk what would happen if he died running a hypothetical for-profit OpenAI, Musk said, quote, "maybe OpenAI should pass to my children." Altman called Musk's safety plans, quote, "hair-raising," and said the framing that they stole a charity was hard to wrap his head around. The OpenAI Foundation now sits on $200 billion in assets. So yeah, that's a lot of charity to allegedly steal. Meanwhile, Google and SpaceX are reportedly in talks to launch AI data centers into actual orbit. The Wall Street Journal broke the story, and the timing is wild because SpaceX is gearing up for a $1.75 trillion IPO later this year. Their pitch to investors is literally, quote, "space is the cheapest place to put AI compute." Now, TechCrunch already pointed out that ground-based data centers are way cheaper once you factor in launch costs, but Google's got Project Suncatcher cooking with prototype satellites planned for 2027. The hyperscalers are running out of room on Earth, and they're looking up. And then there's this. Anthropic just officially crashed the legal AI gold rush. They expanded Claude for legal with new plugins and MCP connectors that hook into Westlaw, Box, and DocuSign. Translation, Claude can now do document review, deposition prep, and case law research without a paralegal touching it. This puts Anthropic head-to-head with Harvey, which raised $200 million at an $11 billion valuation back in March, and Legora, which somehow pulled in a $600 million Series D last month. Big Law is officially the hottest AI vertical, and Anthropic just walked in. Speaking of valuations, a voice AI startup called Vapi just hit a $500 million valuation after Amazon Ring picked it over 40 other vendors. Ring was drowning in support calls last holiday season. They evaluated 40 AI voice platforms, picked Vapi, and now route 100% of inbound calls through it. Here's the funny origin story. The founders were originally building an AI therapist for their daily walks. Nobody wanted the therapy product, but startups kept asking about the voice infrastructure underneath. They pivoted, raised a $50 million Series B, and now they're running Amazon's customer support. Therapy's loss is enterprise's gain. Back to Anthropic for a second, they put out a public warning today calling out a bunch of secondary platforms that are claiming to sell access to Anthropic shares. They specifically named Open Doors Partners, Unicorns Exchange, Pachamama Capital, Hive, Forge Global, and a few others. Anthropic basically said any of these transactions are, quote, void and will not be recognized. This is what happens when a private company is so hot that random platforms start packaging fake exposure to its shares. Forge fired back saying they were, quote, included erroneously. Either way, FOMO investing in AI just got a public service announcement. Meanwhile, over at Meta, they just dropped an AI account on Threads that you literally cannot block. It's testing in Argentina, Malaysia, Mexico, Saudi Arabia, and Singapore. You tag at meta.ai in a post and it replies with context, basically a copy of how Grok works on X. The catch, users immediately discovered they can't block the account. You can mute it, you can hide individual replies, but a hard block is off the table. Given how Grok recently went off the rails posting Hitler praise, putting an unblockable AI on a public feed feels like a choice. And finally, for the developers, a team called Cactus just shrunk Gemini 3.1's tool, calling down to a 26 million parameter model that runs on your laptop. It's called Needle. They distilled the big model's behavior into something tiny, 6,000 tokens per second prefill, 1,200 decode speed, and you can fine-tune it locally on a Mac. Weights are fully open. Dataset generation is open too. This is the future a lot of devs have been waiting for. You don't always need a frontier model just to call a tool. Sometimes you just need fast and cheap, and Needle is both. One more time, huge thanks to GridTerm for sponsoring today's video. Multiple terminal sessions side by side. Link in the description. That's all the AI news for today. Like, subscribe, see you tomorrow.